So I'm going to start with the main message here and then get into each of the weeks. The main message of June, and what I'm seeing in a lot of this is, first of all, there's all this blue energy, lots of swords energy and lots of blue energy. That's really like having clear thoughts. It's a focus on the mind. It's a focus on where your thoughts are, what you're thinking, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Those are all swords words, which is also the air element, which has to do with thoughts, ideas, beliefs, all of that. So that's going to be a real focus for you for June. And I see clear blue skies. So it means you're thinking clearly, thinking rationally, using your mind. What may be needed to allow in his cups energy, which is emotion, which is the heart. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when I get to the weeks. But I'm just going to start with talking about what's going on here. So in general, Four of Cups means that the world wants to hand you something new that fills your heart. And it's really like the divine, the universe is trying, that's what this cloud with the hand represents, is trying to hand you something that is opening up your heart and giving you more emotional energy, giving you more emotional fulfillment. But if you believe, and you're kind of checked out, and you're kind of aloof and kind of bored, if you believe, oh, that's the way it's always been, that's the way it always is, that's the way it's always going to be, you're going to miss out on this thing that the universe, the divine, is trying to hand to you. So whenever I see this card, which I call the Rip Van Winkle card, because he's kind of checked out, he's kind of like navel gazing. He's kind of removing himself from the rest of the world. And I'm going to call this self-absorption. In some ways being asleep. That fits with that Rip Van Winkle theme. I always encourage, when I see this card, for people to look up and out. So look at something look up and out of your normal experience. Look up and out of what you believe has always been, always is, and always going to be. This gets you in a cycle of like, oh, I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm just bored. I'm just going to check out. I'm aloof. You're not emotionally connected. And so this is the divine saying, well, here's something new. I want you to be emotionally connected. I want your heart to be full. So if you're bored with all this, here's something new, but you won't see it unless you're looking up and out. So this requires a difference of experience, not the same way you drive home, not the same routine, not the same schedule, but something different, because that's where your joy is. That's where your heart is. That's where, I'm almost going to say, for you, mix it up. Like go talk to someone new, go do something different. Follow one of your passions that you've let be asleep. Don't let weeds grow around your dreams. In the Morgan Greer, which is the deck that I usually use, this card is covered with this greenery. It's sort of like saying, don't let the weeds grow around your dreams. I'm actually going to find it for you because it's your central card this month, and because it's so appropriate for the message here. I'm going to say it might be a good time to recover. This is the card. Recover what one of your dreams was. If the weeds have been growing around your dreams and it's sort of like you're falling asleep because there's stagnation, there's boredom, there's aloofness, look up and out to where the divine wants to hand you this new cup, because cup is heart, it's emotion, it's love, it's joy, it can be passion, it's just feeling that full-hearted sense. So that's my number one message to you, Libra, is if you're feeling too in your head, especially with all this air energy, go with the heart. Look into your heart and say, or, look up and out for what connects you to your heart, what brings you joy, what makes you feel full, and look for it in a place that is not your usual place. Like if you love singing or dancing and you always go singing or dancing, but you've got bored with it, go do something else. Go, whatever it is that appeals to you, whatever that makes you say yes. One of my friends one time told me, you've got to remember what yes feels like. And that's what exactly one of the messages of this card is. So that's the main feel for June. There is, in the shadows, there is Three of Swords energy. And this has to do with either a breakup, a betrayal, disappointment, some sort of sadness. It's something that's heavy on your heart. And because it's in the shadow position, it means that it's something that you may not 100% be conscious of. Like you may have some sadness or disappointment or, feeling betrayed or feeling just down, but you're not consciously aware of it. Like it's sort of below the surface of your consciousness. So I'd like to invite you to explore that and say, is there something that I'm sad about? Is this weighing on my heart? Is there something that is, in the shadows that's not fully processed? That's a word I'm going to use, Libra. So, and when I see this card, I always invite you to, swords, remember, represent beliefs, thoughts, ideas, thinking. So if you're having thoughts about something that's hurting your heart, it's an opportunity to pull those swords out. So I'd like to invite you to ask, what swords do I need to pull out of my heart for it to heal? What thoughts do I need to remove? And then I'll say in parentheses, from my heart, especially in order for it to heal and recover. Because while the swords are still in there, while the thoughts are still in there, it can't heal fully. So you need to remove some thoughts, some beliefs, some ideas, something having to do with the air realm in order to allow your heart to mend. And that's in the shadows. So that's kind of like an undercurrent. It's not necessarily at the surface of your consciousness, but it's hanging out there in the shadows. So I'm going to say, what do you need to remove from your heart? What thoughts and beliefs, what swords do you need to melt in order for your heart to fully heal? What's passing away is sort of a youngness. Page of Wands, this is the younger version of you. Now, this usually represents a youth who is very convicted towards an idea, who believes in something and is willing to stand up for it and say, I declare this is my truth. Look, everyone, and see it, and I'm going to stand on this hill and I'm ready to go fight for it. And in some ways, I kind of sometimes see it as like the college student who finds a cause and is like, I'm gung-ho, I want to go do it. I believe this to be the truth. I have this moral obligation to go do this thing and defend this, and this is my truth, and I'm gonna stand up for everyone to see it. Since this is passing away and it's next to this Three of Swords card, I'm going to say this is the younger part of you, Libra, because you are the air sign person. So I'm seeing it actually as there's something that maybe you used to believe that is no longer serving you, or an idea that you used to have to defend, but maybe you're putting it away, or that I got something. What was it for you guys? The youthful part of your, almost like a loss of innocence. Like with this, it could be related to this, where if there's three swords in your heart, there may be one of them that you want to keep. There may be one of them that, this led you, this way of thinking, these beliefs led your heart to hurt. So maybe you pull these swords out and throw them away, but you keep one of them, because there's one insight. There's one, it's interesting, today is a Ace of Swords day, which means the truth, and I'm actually kind of getting that part of the reason I ended up doing it today was that it's an Ace of Swords day, so, and this is that Ace of Swords. I'm getting that there is a truth that you're carrying away from the situation, even though it's not like even though it's not what you are presently preoccupied with or concerned about. This is passing away, but there was some sort of truth that is related to this heartbreak, this loss or betrayal. If it was a friend or a romantic partner or family member or whatever it was that was involved with this heartache, you're walking away with some sort of truth. But this was the younger, more naive, more innocent side of you. But now armed and equipped with that, this is where you're going forward, and this is where you're going to have a choice to make. So just saying that about this is that he's actually even looking at that heart, and he's saying, you know what, that did cause me pain. That was difficult, but I hold up the truth now, and I see it, and I know it, and I'm willing to stand up on the top. And by the way, here's the storm with the rain and the rain clouds. Look at this clear day. He knows. He's got the truth in his hand. So just saying, those two are kind of related. Libra, I think in June you're going to have some nice realizations like, oh, I've been through it. I made it through it. Or whatever was going on here, it's a clear day now. But even that is all passing away. Both of these are like, this may be recent past. Like I said, for here, present is opening up to new love, opening up to new joy, new passion, new creativity, this new Ace of Cups that the universe, the divine, is trying to hand to you, but you have to look up to see it. You have to look away from your current situation, your current reality, what was, what is, what will be. These are your beliefs about what existence is about. It's something totally new and totally different. So you have to look up and out of your regular experience to see that, Libra. And then what's coming in is, again, more mind energy, a decision. So Two of Swords, as you can see in this card, has to do with someone who is waiting. She's just, and again, here's this theme, by the way, of being checked out. So I'm going to ask you guys, Libras, are any of you checked out? Are any of you avoiding making a decision? Are any of you like, I just don't want to make any more decisions about anything. I just don't want to deal. I don't want to. There is, and maybe that's what's just going on for you right now. But what's approaching is that, and I've got this new moon here. We just had a new moon towards the end of May, and there may be another one coming up at the end of June. I'll have to look that up, but I'll put it in the comments, the date of it. Around the new moon, you may have a new decision to make, and this means kind of checking out, avoidance, stalemate, dilemma, not sure whether to go left or right, not sure whether to just stay where you are. It's like, I don't know whether to go left or right, so I'm just going to sit right here. I'm going to put this blindfold on and not worry about it. I'm going to check out. So be careful, Libra, about being checked out during June. You can do it right now, but there's going to be a decision ahead. And the way to get out of this stasis or stagnation, and by the way, sometimes it can be peace also. So some of you may be just happy to not have to make a decision. But the way, eventually you are going to need to get up off that chair. So maybe enjoy the peace if that's how it feels for you, or if it feels like indecision. I'm going to offer the way to, once you're ready to get out of this, is to pick a sword and put the other one down and take a step forward. It can be in any direction. Action is the way out of this. So if you're feeling this and you want to get out of it, action, a step in any direction takes you out of Two of Swords energy. It's okay if you make the wrong choice. You can make a different one later. You can choose something different, but you have to make some kind of choice to break up the placidness, the stasis, because if you stay too long here, it gets to be stagnant. So I'm going to say, if you haven't made a decision by the new moon in June, make it by then. Make it that day, or make it look. That's going to give you information about when to proceed with action, and that's what's coming in. So if you're feeling, you Libras tend to weigh things. You're the scales, right? So you weigh things back and forth. Sometimes it shows up as indecision, but you're usually very fair and just, because that's who you are. And so you usually take your time in making decisions, and when you do, they're usually very fair and just. That's why law and equality is represented by Libra. And then your highlighted card, this is very interesting here as a highlight. This is Five of Swords, which I call picking up the pieces. It's interesting because I'm seeing it as related to this. Now, this is a younger person. This is a more mature person. And this person sometimes isn't really trustworthy. This is someone who collects all the spoils after a war. So usually there's a battle that has happened and the sun has set on this battle and people are walking away. And he's collecting all the swords that are lying on the battleground. So that's why I call this picking up the pieces. And remember that swords represent wisdom, knowledge, insight. So sometimes I look at this as what insights, what wisdom, what knowledge did you gather from this battle that happened? What can you walk away from with something in your hand, with this new information, these new ideas, new beliefs? And this card is also about self-interest. So are you being too self-interested or not self-interested enough? Is there someone else who's being too self-interested or not self-interested enough? This card will ask you that question. What is the role of self-interest? How am I protecting my interests? Am I going overboard? Am I not doing it enough? That raises this question. So I'm going to say, I think this Five of Swords is related to this Three of Swords also. I think the battlefield, is related to this. I'm seeing the gray, heavy clouds in both of these. So understand that this will serve the purpose. You did gather at least one insight that kind of made you grow up or mature from this, maybe in a way you didn't want to. And then there's still more, really, that you can collect from this. You can look back. Hindsight's 20/20. Sometimes is also what I'll say about this card, is that you can really gain some knowledge and information more than you even had before by looking back and saying, wow, yeah, even though I've tried to push pause, I've learned something from this, and I see someone for who they are, and I know more now. I've collected the spoils from the battle. I've picked up the pieces. I have more wisdom, knowledge, understanding now. So that's highlighted for you. So a lot of things in your mind, but guess what? This is what it's about, letting in the heart energy. So this is really a theme for you this month, Libra, but I've got good news for you. There's new beginnings ready and waiting for you if you can open yourself to receive them. That's this whole line that also crosses through June for you. Look, ace, ace, ace. This is really a 4 card, but if we get rid of what you believe is past, present, future, it's really an echo of this card. These are really the same card in terms of this is what's being handed to you, this Ace of Cups. Love, joy, new joy, new passion. My cup runneth over. My heart is overflowing. That's what this is right here. So with all this new ace energy surrounding you, look at what's happening. It's actually really funny. This is coming in. This is coming in. You have to look up to receive it, Libra. It's like someone knocking on your door and you have to open the door. It's like we're trying to hand this to you, but we can't hand it to you when you have your arms folded in front of your chest and thinking about everything that already is and how it's always going to be and how it's always been. So that's my message. Like, look up, look out of your regular experience. That's where the good stuff is coming in. That's where the new is coming in. And I'm saying new, underlining it, because 2 aces, when you get doubled energy like this, Ace of Cups and Ace of Swords, new love, new truth. I'll talk more about these right now after I get to past week 1. So week 1, first week of June might be a really busy time for you. This is working away. This is sitting on the workbench. This is 8 of Coins, sitting on the workbench, producing money, being busy, whatever it is that it's not inactivity. It is being productive. And for many of you, it's like whistling while you work that you enjoy. And maybe it's producing something, looking forward to something, not minding having all the work that you have to do. It's joyous work and it's productive work. So the first week of June likely sees a lot of Libras just working hard. And, this is work that produces results. So whatever you're doing in week 1, keep at it, Libra, because there's something that you're working on that is going to be beneficial to you. And 8 is the number of prosperity and abundance. So you're kind of surrounded by that right now. And it's prosperity and abundance from having done a lot of work too. It's money that is available to you through work. So that's what you're kind of surrounded by in week 1. In week 2, here's where the love is wanting to come in, but you have to see it. You have to look up and out. It's here, but it's in reverse. So Ace of Cups is, again, new love, new passion, new joy, new fulfillment. We look at these waters here, and this is in some decks. You can see them here a little bit in the Rider-Waite, but there's lotuses there. And what the lotus represents is enlightenment. It comes up through the dark, murky waters, and then it's a symbol of enlightenment because it comes up through all this difficulty, all this like dirtiness, all this sludgy mud, and then it comes and it blooms and it's this beautiful thing. So with this card, some people I've been seeing too, some religion, for those of you who are Christian, there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit depicted in this card. There's a lot of spiritual blessings, new spirit, new life. It's really just an emotional card where it's like the waters of spirit are, my cup is so full, my heart is so full that it's flowing over. Like it's something that you love, something that you cherish, something that you're passionate about, new joy, new can be a new love relationship, new life. So this is trying to be handed to you by the universe, but you can't receive it unless your hand is out and open. If your eyes are closed, Libra, and you're just focused on what is, you're going to miss it. It could be right in front of you. So open your eyes, open your heart, because this is waiting for you. The divine is trying to hand this to you. It's like this. It's like, I'm sitting waiting for you. Here you go. Take it. So, especially during week 2, Ace of Cups wants to come in. Let it in, Libra. Look up so that you see it. Look up and out of your regular experience. I know I'm like repeating myself, but I really want you to hear that. Because that's what this card is. And then week 3, not only new love, new joy, but a new creativity, new truth. This is revelation. This is clarity. This is actually the card of today, which is, as I'm reading this from the Cards of Destiny system, June 3rd is Ace of Swords. An Ace of Swords is the truth. It's truth with the capital T. It's the Excalibur card. It's the Excalibur sword. It's the truth that cuts away everything else that is false. It's the one thing that remains. It's the only thing that is true. I was actually thinking earlier today that love is the only truth. Everything else is false. So what I'm seeing with this is like connect with what is really true, not only for you, but for everyone else. Like try to see what the truth of the situation is. When it's in reverse, sometimes I read it as I'm trying not to hear that. I'm trying not to see that. I don't believe that. How can that be true? Those are all questions, when things show up in reverse, it's doubt, fear, or resistance. How are you doubting the truth? How are you resisting the truth? How are you fearing the truth? I want you to see it as clear as day. It's crisp. It's clear. It's the one, I don't know why I'm getting all this religious imagery today, but when the word was there, it was out, it's reality. So I'm kind of going off on this Ace of Swords energy, but it's the truth. It's like there's nothing else that can cloud it. There's nothing else in its way. It's there and it's crowned, and it sets you free. That's another image of this card, is the truth will set you free. So why are you hiding from the truth? Or what is it that you're trying? What do you fear, doubt, or what are you resisting in acknowledging the truth for what it is? It's a new truth, new revelation, new beginning, new thought, new idea, new belief. So I know that's kind of heavy, but there's a lot of good stuff here, Libra. A lot of good stuff, a lot of new stuff that wants to come in. And then 10 of Coins last week of June. This is the card of usually inheritance, stability, security. It's a card of the family. What this card usually represents is the wealth of the elder being passed on as an inheritance to the younger generation. And it's a card that depicts riches, that have developed from good decisions having been made over time. So it's like saying, you know, there's been good investments, good business decisions, good finance. It's the most amount of coins that can appear on a card. It's 10 of coins. And this actually depicts the tree of life from the Kabbalah, this symbol that the coins are making. So it's really a card of completion, of security, of domestic bliss, of inheritance, of return on investment. It's really like feeling secure within the castle walls. With the 10 in reverse, it can mean that you're not receiving as much money as you thought you were going to. It can mean that you're not feeling as secure as you thought you were going to. It can mean that this is something that you want to do but are unable to. It can just mean that this is there for you, but you're just not able to access it right now. It may be in delay. So this energy is here, the 10 of coins, affluence, richness, abundance, the stack of coins that has been building for generations. But it may be tied up for some reason, or it may just, you may not have the belief. There may be some doubt, fear, or resistance to receiving that or experiencing that. But I'm going to invite you to remove whatever doubt, fears, or resistance you have to letting that in, because it wants to come in for you. So it's the most amount of money. It's the most security. It's good financial results.